Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. Hope all is well in your part of the world. Yes, I do. I know you're catching this on. Ooh, that's a pretty view. I know you're catching this on the replay. If you do, I appreciate that very much. We won't get too excited for a little bit until people pile in here. So just kick back and join us. The dancing girls will be here shortly. And yeah, my shirt's too big now. I need to get another button sewn on it.
Arena Club is an exciting new and modern way to buy, sell, and trade football.
Buy, sell, and trade football. All right. Maybe my wife can put another button on there. What do you think? I look better that way? It's a beautiful evening in my part of the world. I hope it is in yours. I'm going to sit out here, relax, enjoy the weather. Hopefully see some birds, hummingbirds. Maybe a pretty sunset. We got a lot of clouds. Let me get that range. There's the master of the land, James, in the house. James, how are you, my friend? I saw that you sent me a video. I hadn't watched it yet, but I saw that you sent me one, James. How are you, buddy? You love the Hummers? I know, don't we all? So, yeah, hummingbirds have been crazy in my part of the world. So, I got to make some videos on those at some time. Dennis, how are you, man? You've been doing all right. I know you've probably been traveling and working a lot. So, James says, I am fine. David, how are you doing? Dennis, James asking how you doing. I'm doing okay. I've had a little bit of a rough day. Something's wrong with me. Besides the normal psychological stuff. Colleen is in the house. Hello, good to see you. Thank you. There's definitely something wrong with me. And I think it results from going to the hospital. There's something not right. So I got a bunch of doctor's appointments lined up. So I'm hoping I can figure out what's not right with me. Everybody say hello to everybody. Kyle's already asking for a mod. All right, let me try to do better with your name then. I would say Kellan. Kellan? Is that how you're looking for it? Kellan? Is that better or worse? Because to me, it would be Kelleen is how I would read it. So, sorry for offending you with your name. I do that often. I don't even know what my name is half the time. But you guys all say hello to each other. Remember, the dancing girls will be here a little bit later. Green is in the house. Kyle says, please. Well, no, we got to wait and see, Kyle. You got to give me 5 reasons why you should become a moderator. Yes, better? Okay. I might have to just call you King K, So, but I'll have to try to remember that. I appreciate that. And what part of the world are you from? Are you from the Americas? Okay, it's your birthday tomorrow. That's nice. Happy birthday to you. My birthday's today. So there you go. I got a box from Amazon in the mail today. It's not my birthday. I never have birthdays. But you guys all need to say hello to each other. Give a thumbs up there in the background. Don't be shy. Give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Donate $5 million to my channel, as always. It's all I'm asking is a lousy $5 million. And you never get anything good. Who's the dancing girls? Well, if you watch the videos, James, we have a lot of dancing girls. It's the only reason Dennis shows up, to see the dancing girls. got a box in the mail today. I don't know what it is. I was going to open it while I'm sitting here. We get a lot of stuff in the mail. All right, so Kyle says number 2, because I gave him a thing of 10 things to list. I never get anything good. I don't think that's true, because you probably get food, and food's good for you. 3, he says, I want to experience being a mod. Kyle, let me ask you this. What is it that you think a mod does? How is it going to better your life to be a moderator on my channel? That's the question. Oh, I got the box open. You guys want to see what's in the box? I think this is another free thing that we got. We get a lot of free stuff to product review. And I think this is one of them. Yep. You guys want to see what it is? Oh, showing a bunch of skin there today. My shirt's gotten big. This is one of my really old shirts, but it's gotten really big. But here's what we got in the mail today. Can you see it? It's a sewing machine. Sewing work display, pillowcases. I'm trying to see what this actually is. My wife likes to sew. Jimmy's in the house. Good to see you. Another Filipino reviewer. I know. Right? We get all kinds of shit. So this is a sewing machine, right? All right. Well, that's all I know about it, because I don't know anything about it. So it's a sewing machine. Yay, yes. Like I need a sewing machine. But that's all right. Jimmy, that just tells you that they love us, man. That's all it is, man. It shows that they love us, Jimmy. Dan P. says, I think it's time to seriously start considering salads. Well, Dan, I'm glad you feel that way about your salad, because I think salads are very healthy and very good for you. And if you're ready to make that decision to eat healthier and to be better, I think that's a great thing. And I really think it's really brave of you to come out in public and acknowledge the fact that you're unhealthy, that you're a failure, and that you recognize that you need to eat more fruits and vegetables. I think that's a step in the right direction. So I'm very happy for you, Dan P., for acknowledging your failures. Copy, Jimmy says. Good evening, Pat says. Everybody said hello to each other, by the way. We appreciate that. Thumbs up, remember that. Hey, Pat, this is something I was telling you about the other day. I need to hook you up with all this shit that they send us. So if anybody wants to review Amazon shit, let me know. I can hook you up. I got somebody who's looking for people. So, Pat saying hello to everybody. Appreciate that. Dan says that's cute, which is cute. The sewing machine, my hat, my pretty face. Well, that's cute. James is in the house from California. Buddy, say hi to James if you would. Man, I'm tired today, though. Do I remember John Pinette? No, I don't remember that name. Give me a little bit more information, and I'll Google. But give me some more information. John Pinette. No, Jimmy, I really don't. John Pinette. But then again, I have what they call squishy brain. So after my coma, I lost a whole lot of cognitive and memories and stuff like that, and a lot of different abilities. So he's a comedian. I'm going to look him up. Dennis probably remembers him. Oh yeah. I remember him. I didn't know that's what his name was. Yeah, was he's dead? Well, I didn't know he was dead because this says Wikipedia says John Panette was an American stand-up comedy actor, Broadway performer. So wow, didn't know he was dead. He had a really funny saying about salads, did he? I'll see if I can Google that too. Pat's in the house saying, I just finished a pot of chili, homemade chili. Woohoo! John Panette is a comedian. He's known for his joke that says, salad isn't food. It's just a promissory note that food will soon arrive. That's funny. I actually like salads personally. I'm a big salad fan. Now, my wife doesn't think the way I eat salads is very healthy because, you got to have the croutons and the bacon and the deviled eggs, and cheese, and then get rid of the lettuce. It's not the food, that's right. It's one of your favorite. Kenesha's back in the house. Good to see y'all. Everybody, thank you for the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. All you people in the background that come in just to see naked girls, and when you realize there's no naked girls on here, you run away. Don't be that type of follower. Don't be that type of YouTube watcher. Just because there's no naked girls doesn't mean you need to run away. I know what you guys are all thinking. Where are the naked girls? Pat saying hello to you, Ganesha. Yeah, I like homemade chili. Chili, we're not quite ready for chili. I'm hoping it gets warm again so I can go back to eating watermelon and fruit, summer food. I'm not ready for winter food yet, but I do like chili, let me tell you. He's just asking how you doing, Pat. It's a beautiful evening once again in my part of the world. Partly cloudy, cool. It's in the upper 70s, really nice. Sit outside for a while, hang out. Lorelai had to go back to work today. Yesterday she worked from home. Today I sent her away back to her job. Pat says he's doing good. So, but nothing too exciting for us. Oh shit. I forgot to go to the bank today. Crap. So I got to remember to go tomorrow. Dang it. Or maybe I'll go late tonight. I need to go by the bank. My lawn mowing man comes tomorrow and I always pay him in cash, but I never keep any cash at the house. So I need to run to the bank and get some money out to pay for the lawn mowing man. So if anybody can do that for me, I'd appreciate it. So you like my hat? Thank you. My flat cap. Yeah. I didn't realize this shirt, Pat, has gotten so big on me. It shows off my hairy chest. You like that? Will that give me some donations, Dennis? So I got to go to the bank. I forgot to do that today. Dang it. I'll have to try to remember tomorrow to go to the bank. Thursday I got appointments. When my lawnmower man comes tomorrow, hopefully it won't rain and it'll be dry enough that he can mow the yard. So how is Kenesha doing tonight? James, what's going on in California? If you guys hadn't seen the latest news, here in America, apparently Donald Trump has not died. So just so you know, the fake media over the weekend was talking about Donald Trump, the President of the United States, dying over the weekend. Well, to their dismay, he showed up and did a live press conference today. So he wasn't dead after all. David, you've already for the, yep, ready for the $1.98 beauty show. That's right, man. $1.98. I should at least get $1.99. And you know, so I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna have to do something a little different this winter, you know, with my face. So I'm debating what to do because Lorelai doesn't like my face anymore. Now that we've been married a long time, she doesn't like my face. She says it looks old. So I got to figure out. I guess you know the ladies like the chest hair. They do, boy, don't they? And I got some. Would I be one of those what they call a bear? Here's my pacemaker. I get that out in a couple months, right there. So they're gonna cut me open right. I'm gonna do a video as much as I can. I've already done some back footage ready for the pacemaker, but here I think in I bet you early October. This is September already. So in the next 30 to 45 days, this is gonna start to beep, and they're gonna cut me open, yank this out, plug in a new one, put it back in, and sew me back up. So I'll get another scar. I got a lot of scars. So that's on my agenda for the winter. They like the chest hairs. You know, Filipino women, Pat, are traditionally don't like facial hair. I don't know if you knew that or not, but traditionally, Filipino women don't seem to like facial hair. I'm not for sure why. I think maybe it's just because Filipino men can't grow facial hair. So it's kind of like what they're used to, maybe. Is all I can think of. But traditionally, Filipinas don't like facial hair. And I guess men don't like facial hair on women either. So there you go. Maybe it's a trade off, right? I don't know. But I used to have really long hair and a big beard, but it got too much to handle. So when I met Lorelai, my beard was this length. I keep it kind of short, you know. But now I need to, now that I've gotten older, my beautiful red hair has turned into some weird gray color. So, you know, as Pat and everybody else has acknowledged, when I let my beard grow out now, I look like I'm 900 years old. So, so we're getting excited about that, you know. Well, I guess I'm excited about the new pacemaker just to get it done and over with, right? Instead of having to drag this stupid, because what I'm doing is they keep telling me, well, any day it's going to go off. Any day it's going to start to beep and let you know that it has to be replaced. And I'm like, well, that's great, but when the hell is any day coming? You know, I've been any day in it for a long time, you know. Any day now, you know, it could be any day now. You know, your battery is getting there. So, but yeah, just in case you guys was wondering, internationally or here in America, the president was not dead after all. There is all kinds of stories all over the internet over the weekend that he died, passed away. You know, it was just funny, funny, funny. And then what I think is funny about some of these stories, and who cares if it's about him or not, but what I think about some of these stories is how do these people that report, oh my God, you know, David from Filipino American couple passed away on Sunday. Then I show up on Monday doing a live stream. How do they think or feel or justify being that dumb? Once I tried to explain to a Filipina that it's not white hair, it's gray hair. She said it's not gray, it's white. All right. Well, you know, there's no logic in, you know, here's one thing we've learned the hard way. You can't explain anything to Filipinos. I just go, whatever. You know, if you think this shirt is purple, Lorelai, hey, more power to you. You know, it's okie dokie. I love the fact that my wife has always given me advice whether I want it or not, whether I've asked for it or not. And I tell the story, Jimmy, that my wife wasn't in America 2 days, right? Never driven a car before in her life. She'd only been in America 2 days, and she was already telling me that I'm going in the wrong direction when we're driving somewhere in America. Remember, she never driven a car in her life, and she just got to America 2 days. The second day she was here, she was already saying, "I think you're going in the wrong direction. You need to go that way." So yeah, I give up trying to debate and have logic. Reasoning, just don't do it. You know. Yeah, Pat, I'm doing really good on my diet. I'm down like 70 something pounds. But I was having a weird thing. I threw half the donuts away, to be honest. They didn't, I don't know what it was, but I had a weird craving for donuts, but the donuts didn't turn out to satisfy the craving. So it's really weird. I don't know if I just had a weird sugar thing because I drank a big coffee with a lot of sugar and cream in it and a donut, and it didn't seem to help. So I don't know what the deal was. Tim's in the house. How are you, Tim? Good to see you. Finders, keepers. Yes, yes. Everybody said hello to Tim. So they weren't as good as I was hoping they were going to be. So that was disappointing because it cost me like $7 for 6 freaking donuts. Whatever happened to the day when donuts were like a quarter each? None is in the house. It says, hello from the land of Iowa. Good to see you, Jimmy. Hello from Tim. Hey, Tim. So it didn't quite work, and I don't know why, but I was really craving, you know, a donut. But I'm also craving empanadas from like Chowking, which we don't have one around here anywhere. And I've been really craving a cup of coffee like you get at Waffle House. I've been wanting to go to like Waffle House or one of those breakfast places where they just give you black coffee and you throw sugar and cream in it and you can eat biscuit and gravy. So I've been having a weird craving about that. And I don't know what the hell that's all about. So I don't know, man. I think I'm going crazy. I do remember the Dolly Madison donuts. Yes. We have Little Debbie's, if you guys didn't know, lives right over here. So Little Debbie's is from Northwest Arkansas. They have a facility in Tennessee, but they were born out of Northwest Arkansas, and I've actually met her several times. So Dolly Madison is right over here. I got some donut holes yesterday from the Dunkin' Donuts, and they were not good. Well, my donuts wasn't from Dunkin' Donuts, but they weren't good either. I was very disappointed. And I don't know if it was just because my expectations was so high because I haven't had a donut like in 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years. So I really wanted a donut, right? And I get these donuts and I'm like, well, kind of like sucks. Is it Dolly Madison? No, Little Debbie. Sorry, not Dolly Madison. We don't care about Dolly Madison. It's Little Debbie's that is from here. Sorry, Little Debbie's. Let me get that corrected. So, and you can go, we have stores around here, bakeries. You can go there and buy all the Little Debbie's you want for dirt cheap because they are the extras or the seconds or the ones that can't go to market. So you can go to these bakeries and pick up bread and all kinds of things really, really cheap. Think they gave me a headache? Yeah, I just wasn't happy with them, Tim, either. I was really disappointed because I'm like, man, because I debated with myself, should I have a donut? Should I not have a donut? Should I have a donut? Should I have? So I finally got a donut and went, well, these kind of suck. Jimmy says they are stretching out the throwaway time. It got to stay. Yeah, I agree. And look, one good thing when I did all of these, you guys may not know, but when I was still teaching college, I put on these very large conferences, safety and health conference, with the federal government and the state government. I put these on in conjunction, and I had a lot of corporate sponsors, Typhon Foods, JB Hunt, Walmart, Little Debbie's. And Little Debbie's every year would give me thousands upon thousands of new Little Debbies to give out as a marketing thing, but as a treat to all of my guests. So Little Debbie's was a great company. They sent a lot of people to my safety conferences, a lot of people in attendance, but they would just give me boatloads and boatloads of snack cakes. So much so that I had to pack them in bags and give them away at the end of the day. I remember the pecan donuts. Haven't seen those in your pecan donuts. I haven't seen. I don't know about those. I remember the little coconut ones, like the little white powdered ones, but they were coconut. I always liked those. I was a big fan of the oatmeal cookies, the oatmeal cream pies. But after eating them for years, you couldn't get me to eat one now. I ate so many of them when I was teaching that, I couldn't do it again. I couldn't do it. But Little Debbie's was a great corporation to be partnership with. They gave me door prizes, all kinds of stuff, hats and safety glass, all kinds of things. They were very, very, very generous in helping me put on these conferences. So hats out to Little Debbie's. So appreciate all the years I had a partnership with them. Very good company, very nice people. And I met her twice, Little Debbie, the little girl. She's a real person. She came to our conference twice over the years and spoke. We let her speak because she wasn't a big public speaker. But, you got to suck up to the people that have a lot of money. You got to suck up to the people that's why I suck up to Dennis. Because Dennis has all the Canadian money, So, but they were a good company to work with. Tyson's was good too. Tyson Foods, I'll tell you, was a very good company to work for until they got in a pissing contest with OSHA. So, because all of my stuff was in conjunction with OSHA and the states. And for years, I got a lot of stuff from Tyson's. And then Tyson's and OSHA got in a pissing contest here because their corporate office is here. And, OSHA no longer wanted me to have a partnership with Tyson's, and I had to kind of balance that. But yeah, those two got in a pissing I don't know whatever happened, but they got in a pissing contest with each other. And all of a sudden, they didn't want me to have Tyson's at the conference front and center, so, acting like they were a good company. Because that's what it was. These companies would donate all of this stuff and put on a presence in front of the government going, hey, look at us, aren't we great? And I guess Tyson's made some boo-boos and got in some big trouble with workers and worker safety, and therefore they didn't want the image of Tyson's to be elevated, or the fact that OSHA was saying Tyson's was great. So they didn't want that anymore. But I had to explain to them, I get that, and we will definitely work with that. But you got to remember, Tyson's home office is right here. They own part of my college. You see that building over there? They paid for that building right over there. So on my college campus, I can't very well tell Tyson's to go kiss my ass. So I had to kind of balance that little world between bad Tyson's and Tyson that gave us a lot of money at the college. Because my president of the college definitely would not have been happy with me if I would have pissed Tyson off. But it was fun. It was fun. But they gave us a lot of stuff. They even gave us food, frozen food at times. They brought a truckload of chicken tenders and vacuum sealed chicken breast to our parking lot one year and just gave it out. It was probably all expired, probably had E. coli in it, was going to kill everybody. But they brought a big truck, put it in the parking lot, and they gave, as everybody left to go home, they gave them a case of products. So, what can I say? And Walmart was okay. Walmart really didn't do, Walmart kind of sucked. They built the buildings, but they didn't give a little stuff. You really couldn't get any free stuff from the stores at Walmart. You had to go through corporate, and going through corporate to get something from Walmart was a nightmare. So they weren't very helpful. But other smaller companies like Beckhart and all these other companies that I had partnerships with, man, they opened up their wallets and dumped money and product and gifts so that we could give those away to everybody who attended like you couldn't believe. Walmart, Not so much, cheap bastards. So, you know, what are we going to say and do? I don't know. They never sent any employees either. I always thought they were too good, I guess. Cherokee Nation was another one that was a really good partnership. Even though they're based out of Oklahoma, Cherokee Nation, the Indian Nation over there, Cherokee Nation, they always send people and they donated a lot of stuff, a lot of free hats and shirts and just stuff, you know, and all kinds of good stuff. Granger was another one that always gave us stuff. Sometimes they'd give us expensive tools to give away as door prizes and bags and all kinds of stuff. Really good stuff. So, something I did for many years. I raised over $30,000 in scholarships. I was the only person at the college whose job it was not to raise money for scholarships, who actually raised money for scholarships. Walmart could have donated any damn thing, you know, but they chose not to. And here's what's sad, Tim, about that is like our buddies at Beckhart. They're next to Sam's Club and Walmart. Their building is literally across one parking lot. They would go to Walmart and buy all the soda and all the water I needed for a conference from Walmart, and then they would donate it to us. You know, cheap bastards. No cars, man. I couldn't even get any dealerships around here to give anything good away. You know, but tool sets. We did have Lone Star Safety out of Russellville, Arkansas. Was very good. Gary was his name. He gave me all kinds of stuff to give away over the years. You know, barbecue sets, tool sets. No cars. No cars. A lot of shirts and hats and pins and bags and donuts, I guess, and sodas. We would have so much product that I had my workers, we would stuff gift bags. So somebody like Granger would give me, you know, 1,000 of their big plastic bags. And so we would have so much donated that I would fill these bags up pre-conference. And everybody who came to the conference got a bag full of shit. Hats and pins, gloves and safety glasses, all kinds of stuff, you know, all kinds of stuff. Then a lot of them would give door prizes. And we did have some barbecue sets one year. Man, over the years, we had a lot of different stuff over the years. It was when I retired, some of the companies gave me retirement gifts, which was very nice of them. And I still have them, you know, gold-plated wrenches and things of that nature. So they were very nice to give me, get the hell out of here gifts when I retired due to my health. But I had a lot of good partnerships. So it was good. It was good. It was a lot of fun working with these companies and these people because I knew I could count on them. And they would all give me money to donate to scholarships. I contacted Big Pins about different ways to promote a business. They sent me 4 huge boxes of pins to hand out. Yeah, I don't doubt that. You know, what we had was, you know, all of these companies like Granger or Beckhart, they would have pins with their names on it. So that's what they would do. They would just send me a case of their pins to hand out, or paper, or like binder clips with their names on it, or squishy balls with their names on it, you know, branding and marketing. So I took anything they would be willing to give: hats, shirts, pens, pencils, you name it, anything they wanted to get. I did have somebody give me personally a pair of really nice steel-toed boots. That was a nice gift to me. So I had a guy ordered a pair of boots for me. That's right. Jimmy says, can you get a hold of GM? Corvettes sound good to me. You're a GM guy. I wouldn't want the Corvette, you know, to be honest. I'm old. I don't even want the Mustang anymore. The Mustang sucks. It's ugly. They need to redo that car. They've screwed that pooch on that. I see the new Mustang. Sorry, the new Corvette's supposed to be like a supercar, right? Is that what they're coming out with? Trying to make a supercar? I did locally contact our big dealerships, and all they would do is give us a coupon like for $10 off an oil change. Greedy bastards. But I was just always shocked that Walmart wouldn't give a shit. They kept saying, "Oh, you got to go through the corporate office for that." Well, okay, what's the number? Who's the person? Well, I don't know. You got to call this number. Just wasn't worth it. The cities gave us stuff, like the city of Bentonville, Arkansas, and Fayetteville, Arkansas. The University of Arkansas gave us Razorback stuff, you know. So we had all kinds of people, just not Walmart. The biggest, the most wealthiest company couldn't give us shit, you know. So Tim says, I tried it, Jimmy, and they sent me 4 Matchbox cars. They sent me a Matchbox car. Well, at least you got something out of it. It was my dream car, but never could afford it until I'm too old to get in it. Yeah, that's it. You know, I'm a Mustang guy, and the last Mustang I had was the 2010 GT Gold and Black, a real GT. Beautiful car, great car, convertible, my dream car. But it was so hard to get in and out of. Now my dream car is like a luxury SUV. You know, when you get old, your dream has to change because reality bites you in the ass. And I had a friend who had my age. He's older than me, but when he was my age now, him and his wife got into the Corvette scene. And I rode in his Corvette a couple of times when I was younger. And I'm like, man, I don't know how you do this. This thing is so damn low, you got to peel yourself out or roll yourself out. But after a couple of years, he got out of the Corvette scene because he couldn't get in and out of it either. And then I had a friend that was into Miatas, but she got too fat for her. She was so big into the Miata clubs, and but she got so fat she couldn't fit in her Miata anymore, and she had to trade it up for, I think at the time was a Toyota something that was a convertible. I thought that was really funny. So, you know, when you get old, you just got to be aware of it, right? What's going to happen? Now my dream car is a luxury SUV. And if we bought another convertible, guys, what we would actually buy, my wife really likes the Bronco, the convertible part of the Bronco. She really likes the Ford Bronco, and I do too. But I would probably buy an older Jeep, make it kind of normal to the ground where it's not jacked up, put regular tires on it, make it kind of low to where you can get in and out of it, and just put a Bimini top on it. And that would be my next convertible. Yeah, I need that Lincoln. I need that Lincoln. Tim, I don't know. I can't even get anybody to donate the $5 million to me, more or less a Lincoln. So I don't know. I think I'm just shit out of luck. But yes, I like the Lincolns. I'm a big fan of the Lincoln Navigators and the Nautilus. I know, right, Jimmy? You know, it's kind of like even this weekend we went to. Now I've been having some problems, but we went 2 hours away this weekend, and my wife has a Subaru, and she has the most nicest, luxurious Subaru they make, top of the line all the way through. And even after 2 hours of driving in that thing, I'm like, man, I sure do wish I had a Lincoln or a Cadillac or something that was way more comfortable than this Subaru. So, you know, and I told her, so we need to, down the road when we can afford it, we need to buy a used Lincoln Nautilus, fully loaded, blackout package with everything on it, including the massage and the seats, and low mileage used so that we can do our traveling in. It's pretty bad, man. You got to pick, you know, it's kind of like, you know, my old truck, you know, it's a Dodge Dakota, and it's just the right height for me to kind of step into and get in and out of. Don't got to climb up into it. So I'm with you there, man. Comfort, ease, you know. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm even partial to the technology now. So I like her Subaru has a great big digital display, and I'm telling you, once you've had that big GPS display unit, man, it's the way to go. I'm a driver, a Highlander now, Toyota Highlander, nice. I think Toyota's a Highlander, right? Don't even have to bend my knees, get in and out perfect. Yes. To make a car ride comfortable, it needs a long wheelbase. I would agree. I would agree. I also think it needs a wide wheelbase. So I agree with you. It needs a long and a wide wheelbase. So it needs to kind of be like a frog, is what I think. It's kind of how I equate it. But now, if we ever won the lottery, and you guys, of course, would never see me again, but I would probably buy a Bentley or the nicest luxury vehicle there is in the world to drive around in, even though it gets scratched up and waste all of my money buying it. But I'm really to that point where I want a seat that massages your back when you drive. Our Subaru does have air conditioning and heat in the seat, but it doesn't have massage. And I'm to the point where I want a back massage when I drive, more than 2 hours. I don't want my butt to get sore and my legs to go numb when I'm driving. So I need. That's partly why I like those Lincolns so much. So I do PCH app once in a while online. PCH. What's PCH? Pacific Coast Highway? Publisher Clearinghouse? Publisher Clearinghouse. John McMahon or whatever his name was. I haven't seen that in forever. They still do that? I didn't know they were even still doing the PCH. I see that the lottery is up over $1 billion now. You guys better go get a ticket. You guys see that? It's like $1.3 billion or something, which means you get about 600 million. You barely get half of it. But I'd take it. Since I can't get anybody to give me 5 million, I'll take the 500 million. All I want is 5 million, but, it's online. All right, I didn't know they were still doing that. Yeah, you're in Georgia, and you're probably only talking about, what, 6 to 8 hours, depending, to Port Canaveral, because we lived in Cocoa Beach. I liked it. My wife hated it because it was too boring. Cocoa is right where Port Canaveral is. We lived in the city, not the beach. Sorry, we lived in Cocoa. And I liked the area, but my wife found it too damn boring. Mark V just they do look comfortable, man. I mean, I'm a big fan. But I know what you mean, Jimmy, about flying those. I think about that. We went to Dallas a while back, and we drove because we needed to do a bunch of running around. But I gotta admit, it's a 1 hour flight, 1 hour and 10 minutes from my airport to Dallas, and it's a 5 hour drive. And I did debate about flying and renting a car for the weekend while we were there, but I didn't do it. 8 hours, where you at? Okay, all right. So I was close. 8 hours. I can do about 11 hours and that's it. 11 hours and that's it. If I have a really good seat in the car, I can do a good 11 hours. I can drive to Gulf Shores, Alabama. I can leave early in the morning, get there, and still, once I get out of the car and get moving around, I can have energy to go to dinner and go hang out and go to the beach for a little while before it gets dark. So I can still do that, but I need a good seat. You have to download the apps. Okay, I got you. I see. Well, has anybody ever won that $10 million? That's what I wonder. I know they used to bring balloons to people's house, right? Isn't that the one? They say, you are the winner. But, I never heard anybody ever winning. Unless you bought the magazine. Don't you got to buy like magazines or something? So, at least with the lottery, smart rich people say playing the lottery is basically a poor person tax. Only poor people pay the lottery. And I was listening to this and I'm like, well, why poor people pay play the lottery, and rich people don't, because rich people are already rich. They don't need the damn money. Not anymore. It's all changed now. All right. Tim says I can fly for 11 hours and then go out for dinner. Yeah, flying's hard too. Sitting in an airplane drives me crazy. I get up and move around some. But I can handle that, even in those horrible seats. My problem is all the time you spend in an airport getting from one place to the other in an airport. So it's all on the app. Pat says, okay, I'll have to check it out. So, man, my shirt's too big. I feel like a slob. But yeah, when we went to Alabama this year, I drove 11 hours. And then we actually went and rode around for a couple of more hours and had dinner and came back. But I get excited sometimes and I get energy, when you get to, it's kind of like on a cruise ship. When we go on a cruise ship, my wife is tired and I have so much energy, it's unbelievable. My ankles hurt and I can barely walk. My knees are bad, my back is hard, my heart. So I'm wore out, but I'm ready to go. I don't care how much pain I'm in. Let's go. Come on, let's go. If we're going to be here, by God, we're going to get a moving and a grooving. A moving and a grooving. So, yeah, the airport doesn't make travel fun anymore at all, Tim. The weird thing is airports are really cool places. And they could be fun, but not anymore, right? It's kind of sucky. All the waiting in line and, it's a hardship. The good thing, the secret is to be handicapped. And I am, and it's on my driver's license. So we get to do that whole cut in front of the line. But I can't imagine what healthy people have to go through to get through all these damn international airports. But at least, because Lorelei fills out our ticket saying that I'm handicapped, and at least we get to cut the line, I guess. Yeah, get them at all the airports, yeah. And it's helpful. I always tip the guy like $20. Whoever pushes me around in a wheelchair, they get $20. So I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do or not, but that's what I always do. I always give the pusher, a $20 bill for rolling my fat ass all over the airport. But it is nice to get through immigration and customs faster. And now, when we came back from the Philippines, I had a mobility scooter. So I really didn't need a pusher because I had a mobility scooter. And that worked pretty well, even though mine's not really an airport-friendly scooter, a travel scooter. But it worked okay having a mobility scooter. And I would recommend that for handicapped people. Get your own mobility scooter. I think I might have to get one. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, when your doctor gives you the form to show that you're handicapped and you get a handicap tag on your car, they put it on your license. So at least they do in my state. I don't know about where you're at, Pat. But here you get your license says that you're disabled. Mr. Lawson's back. Hey, I'm back. But just for a bit. I had back, I don't know, probably a little while. It'll be a little bit while yet. Are you feeling better today, Lawson? I hope you are. At Incheon, which is Korean airport, which is great, the assistant is dangerous for speeding. Yeah, man, and everybody gets assisted. That's what I love about Korea. Incheon, every time we've been there, anybody who looks like they're old gets a wheelchair. So you might have 30 or 40, 50 wheelchairs lined up to get on the airport, or on the airplane, I mean. So you're not fully better, but you're getting better. All right. That's good to know. Lawson was sick. He didn't get to attend the wedding and flirt with people. He had to come home early because he was sick. But he's on the mend, everybody. Let's make sure he feels better. But that's what I find great about Incheon in Korea. I mean, it's literally, I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness gracious. There's 50 wheelchairs lined up for people to board a plane, But that's all right. So I don't like playing the handicap card, but I will say it is beneficial. What I've learned is this: I don't like playing it, and if I was by myself, I wouldn't play it. I guess I don't know, but I probably would. I don't know. But why I do it is because I know it makes Lorelei's job, my wife's job, easier. So it makes travel for her easier because she's the one who's organizing, getting us from point A to point B because that's what she likes to do. So I just sit back and say, fine, you can direct traffic and say, no, we need to go here. I don't care. I give up. I know where I'm going in the airport, but okay, you can be the boss of the travel. So, and usually we got baggage to carry, with the suit, a carry-on and a backpack for two. And so I've learned over the years, it's easier on her if I just suck it up and get the wheelchair or the scooter and make her life a little bit easier. So that's a big reason I do it. Now, is it beneficial to me? Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. You know, if I had to walk, one, I couldn't walk it, to be honest. Tim, everybody, there's no way. If you've been on Ichon Airport, there's no way I could walk to International in Ichon or Chicago or Dallas. I could never walk that. I would never be able to walk that far. My heart would give out, or my lungs would act up, or my ankles would give out. Something would happen. I would never be able to walk that far. Same goes for Pat also. Yes, Jimmy. She may be the boss, but if something goes wrong, I know. Man, how do you know? How do you know this? Yeah, even if I'm not even involved, right? Even if I'm not involved, it's my fault somehow. I'm not even in the country. I'm not even on the planet Earth. And somehow it's my fault if something goes wrong. I've never understood that one. Just never understood it. I don't do that to her. I take ownership. It's one thing that drives me a little crazy. I'll tell you guys. I am a person who will take ownership. I will. I've been in a lot of situations where we've been in meetings with high functioning people, right? And we've been debating the same effing topic and the same stupid mistake that was made or this for an hour, and I finally get pissed and say, fine, I'm the one who made the mistake. I did it. I take responsibility. I did it. I screwed it up. So now that somebody's claimed it for theirself, let's figure out how to move on so that we can keep going. So just blame it on me. I'm happy to say I did it. I'm the one who screwed the pooch. I take responsibility for it so that we can move on. I'm really big on that one. I do it all the time with my, fine, it's my fault, Lorelei. I don't care. It's my fault. Just shut up and let's move on. Some terminals, oh yeah, they're an over and over. I know, man. And then, of course, not only the walk, but the standing. The first time I went to the Philippines all these many years ago, I was not in great health, but I didn't know it. And I wasn't handicapped at the time. But I remember how difficult it was getting in Chicago from domestic side to international side and waiting in line that long. It killed me standing up for an hour and 15 minutes to get processed through the waiting line to get onto the damn airplane. The Atlanta airport, yeah, we've been to Atlanta. It is a big one. It's great. And Dallas, everybody, they're all that way. It's just crazy, you know? And I think it's okay to take advantage of anything you can, but so I've gotten better about saying, okay, just sign the disability thing and I'll go with it. Because, when I was younger, before I got married, if I needed to, I would find the golf cart people and jump on the golf cart and pay them, and just catch a quick ride. Because there was a lot of times I had to make like short trips and all I needed was one suitcase, right? Because I'd have to fly to Dallas and teach a class, or I'd have to go here for this or there for that. and I was only gone maybe 3 to 5 days. So I'd pack one carry-on, go by myself, of course, wasn't married. And if I was tired, I would just find the golf cart people and jump on those and give them a few bucks to take me where I needed to go. But it was pretty easy because all I had was one piece of luggage. Now that I'm married, I have like 37 pieces of luggage to go, and one of them's mine. I keep telling Lorelai, no, man, all I need is one backpack. All I need is a backpack, So, no, no. And so, I give up and take half my closet now and put it in suitcases and put 20 pairs of shoes in there, put a bunch of extra food that we don't need in there. So, Pat says, I was in California last year, walked my chest, got lost your breath, had to ride an 8-wheel golf cart, Negros Airport, Philippines. Yeah, so you were at LAX, and then, LAX is a big airport. I mean, we were lucky when we came back from the Philippines. I had a mobility scooter. So, I get it, Pat. I understand. And I don't think most people our age or health conditions should even try that anymore. They shouldn't try to make that long journey. They should just say, I recognize that could I make it? Yeah, maybe. But it's going to make my trip even harder. I think I need a backpack just for your meds. That's funny. I can relate. But, it is sad, right? Back in the day, all I needed was a backpack. But, us guys, we're going to be gone 5 days, right? How much clothes do guys need for 5 days? We need 5 days worth of clothes. We don't need 27 days worth of clothes for a 5-day trip. Jimmy says, I'm already there. Yeah, what I don't like, Jimmy, and for all of us that travel is, when you got to pack all your meds, you're right. You need a bag for all your damn meds. I don't like the fact. I don't know. I guess. I mean, when we moved to the Philippines, that was different. We took all the meds. But I don't want to have to pack all of my prescription bottles to go on a cruise ship, just so that if I go through immigration and they see my pill pack, because, we got a 14-day pack, right? A 14-day thingy is what I have, so 2 weeks. I just take that, but what I learned is I can get in trouble because I don't have the prescription bottles associated with each pill. And 2 pairs of pants, there you go. 2 pairs of pants or shorts, a pair of shoes, a couple of pairs of socks, a shirt or two, and we're good, man. 5 days, we're in and out. If we need something else, we'll just run to Walmart. So now I will have to have someone push me in the wheelchair golf cart next time. Well, yeah, Pat, you could just put that you're disabled, and you need a wheelchair assistant. Mark it on your airline ticket, and they will have one ready for you, and somebody will push you. And that's what I was saying earlier. When I do that, I always pay the pusher. I give the guy who's pushing me $20. And even if we get a porter who helps us, like coming back from the Philippines, we had shitloads of luggage, right? So I paid a guy, I think $100 to get all of our shit, out of the airport into the car to get us to the rental property, the rental place. Never pack medicine in the checked baggage. That's correct. You got to have it in your carry-on. That's correct. Which is sad, I just don't like the fact that I got to carry all the bottles so I can prove that I don't have any illegal drugs, instead I can just take my day pack, which would fit easily, in a flat spot. Sorry, I got to go real quick to get ready. All right, Lawson, we appreciate you, buddy. But traveling, it can be a chore. We like to fly versus drive, but part of me likes to drive over flying because of the airports. If you could just go to the airport, right, and get through there and get on the plane and get booking, then it'd be great. But getting through the airport to the plane is the hardest thing about flying these days. So it's almost like, shit, I'd rather just drive, you know. Yep, yep. You got to have a carry-on for your drugs. That's why you got to have the backpack. Well, I take a backpack too. I always put some clothes in it, to be honest. I put clothes and electronics and the drugs and a little bit of cash. So, and then I do put other electronics if we're taking a bunch in a check baggage. But I keep, certain electronics real close to me. But yeah, we all do that now. And I take an extra pair, I take slippers. In my backpack, I carry slippers. And I wouldn't mind driving if I was with friends. They could have, yeah, I would agree. It does make it easier. My problem is, maybe you guys have figured this out. What do you think my problem is driving with friends? I would rather just drive. I'm the guy that would rather, look, I would rather do the driving because I don't trust anybody. My wife's a pretty good driver, but we have a system. My wife only drives on the interstate in between cities. So that's what she does. She drives on the long stretches where there's no real cities. And then we pull over and I drive through the cities. So that's kind of what I do, what her and I do. Have a great night, Lawson says. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll be, for long I know I always say that, but I really think I'll be able to tomorrow. Good deal. Well, Lawson, we're glad you're feeling better. We hope you continue to feel better. And just take care of yourself. But I like to drive. I'm the idiot that likes to drive. When we went to Mississippi with some friends a few years ago, because we were thinking about buying some property down there in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. And some friends wanted to go and we went on a fishing trip and they drove separately. They left, we booked an Airbnb and we shared the Airbnb and the cost, which worked really well. But when we ran around together, I did all the driving. But they drove on their own and all that. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay being the driver and somebody else gassing. I guess I'm the driver guy, and I'd be happy to do the driving if you gas. My wife and I, to be honest, have a really good, we have finally learned how to drive together. After all these years, we have finally learned how not to kill each other on a trip. And she's learned, and I've had to explain to her, but she's become a very good navigator. So she knows to call things out way, way ahead, look at the map, and anticipate things, and to give me heads up. So she's become a great navigator. But she doesn't listen to me when I tell her. Brother David I've never flown any fancy. The fancy airline I've ever flown was Korean Airline. I don't like carpooling, going to sporting events if I want to leave. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. She's your wingman. She is. She's my navigator, man. I'm telling you, she's got it figured out. I had to tell her a long time ago, don't scare me. When you bark out orders and I'm driving because I'm going to miss a turn and you get all excited and all crazy, going, you're going to miss. It doesn't help me. It makes things worse. It makes things horribly worse. It's going to cause me to have an accident because I'm going to have a knee-jerk reaction to your holy shit, type of thing. So she's gotten really good at being calm, and I've told her and explained to her, look, if we miss the turnoff, we'll go down to the next one, and it just circles around. You get on the exit and come back the other way, you come back the other way, and you go right back where you are. It takes a few minutes extra, but it's okay. So my wife, we've gotten a really good system down. She no longer screams and shouts, oh my God, Regardless of the event being done, I agree. we don't travel in our car together with a lot. Just our Filipino couple friend. We got one couple group that we travel with, and they are the most laid back people, and they actually kind of, I don't want to say the word bow, but they kind of go with the flow. So if I want to leave, they're ready to leave. If I want to stay longer, they're just really flexible. Those are the only ones that we carpool with, really, Tim. Pat says, yeah, all right. Hadar's back in the house. Yo, Mr. Man, cool uncle. Thank you for coming back in. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. We appreciate that. That's it, Jimmy. I teach a lot of people how to drive. I have, believe it or not. I've taught a lot of people how to drive. And I have a different system for teaching people than what the driver's ed does. And what I believe in is this. I know this is kind of childish. Racing is in the house. How are you? Hello. My compadre, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up. So for instance, we got our good friends, his brother is coming to America, hopefully in early winter, January, February. And they want me to teach him how to drive in America. So I'm going to do that because I taught his wife how to drive, and I'm okay with that. But I do something really simple. I make them they gotta know what the vehicle is. They gotta be able to identify it, tell me what it is, tell me where the engine is, what the tires are, how to work the mirrors. I start off with the very, very, very basic level before I get you in a car, is what I do, is one of the things I do. Cool shirt, where did you find this? Well, the shirt's kind of big. You want to see my hairy chest? I don't even ask donations. I've lost some weight, and to be honest, I've had this shirt maybe 8 or 9 years, and I don't know where I got it. It's been too long, but it's gotten too big. But it was clean, so I put it on. The other thing I do, which I think is very important when you're teaching somebody how to drive, and here's something really important. I take them somewhere like a big field, right? And I tell them to dump the gas, to floor the car as hard as they can so that they know what happens when you do that. I also make them get going and slam on the brakes as hard as they can so they know what happens when you do that. Same thing with turning the wheel all the way to the left, all the way to the right, hitting reverse and doing the same thing. I teach them the bad things that can happen to you. So I get that out of the way. And then I teach them how to drive. Yeah, I've lost 70 pounds in the last year-ish. So I think I'm down a good 70 pounds. I need to lose about 10 more. I'd be really happy to lose 10 more. And why? And look, I know I'm a fat guy and I'm an old guy. 10 more would be... Here's my problem with losing so much weight. I like my shirts. I have a lot of really cool shirts, and I like wearing them. So I don't want to have to buy all new shirts, because I have a lot of really cool tropical shirts, that I really, really enjoy, that I bought in Aruba and other places. And I got a closet full of them that are too big for me now. It's just not cool, man. So, not cool at all. And then, of course, my neck gets flabby, like a turkey neck, when I lose weight. See, I need what do they call that? Is that a neck lift? Can I go get a neck lift? But, So I'm happy to teach you how to drive. I've done a lot of it, but that's what I do. I get that out of the way. Pat says, I'm back in the house. Congratulations. I think it's very impressive that a person your age, 29, has lost so much weight. Well, to be honest, I've lost over 200 pounds compared to my height, right? Yeah, no, yeah. I am at my heaviest. I was, 200 pounds heavier than I am now. At my heaviest, I was 200 pounds heavier. To show my daughter, probably learned driver's license. Took my daughters to the Asian market. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's funny, Jimmy. And have a reserve. I kind of did the same thing, but not like you. I did take my friend's wife to the big parking lot And I made her watch people and observe traffic. The other thing I make them do is one thing I like, I guess, I make them identify what car passed them. I make them tell me who's behind them. So I want them to always, I train, because this is what I do. When I drive, I know every car that passes me, every car that comes up behind me. So if I see a blue truck in my mirror and then I don't see him, I want to know where the hell he went. Is he in my blind spot or did he disappear? But I did the same thing. I made her watch people park and then we parked. You're 129 pounds right now, Pat says. He used to be 150, so he's down a good 30 pounds, 20 pounds. By the way, I'm Asian. I get it, man. I mean, look. That's okay. I'm with you, buddy. I don't know. But that's what I do. I do a lot of different things than probably most ed drivers. You know, I make them call out, what color of a car is behind you? Well, I don't know. Well, you better figure it out. You need to know who's behind you at all times. You need to know who's in front of you all the times. You need to know who's to your side, who to your left, who to your right. You need to know what's the best parking space for you in your vehicle. I use the kilogram system, but I am where their numbers are big. Congratulations to everyone. Yes. Well, Pat would like to be fatter. So Pat lost 20 pounds, but he didn't want to lose 20 pounds. So he needs to get 20 pounds to be a little bit healthier. Pat, I'm about the same weight as you. So you put Pat and Tim together and you have my weights. I'm You know what I miss is I wish I had a workout buddy because I miss lifting weights. I used to lift weights. I used to be really strong. And if I knew somebody my age-ish that lived near me that would get into weightlifting, I would love to get back into weightlifting. But I almost died in 2016. I can relate to that, Pat, as you know. I can relate to the dying thing. And I'm on the way to dying again, I can tell. So I can already tell. I know what my body's going through. Pat Hadar is wanting to know what it was like. Jimmy says, see, Jimmy and I are about the same. I'm a little bit heavier than you, Jimmy. So, you know, you and I are about the same, man. See, we're close to being the same. I'm a little bit heavier than you. So. That's why the weight went down from bleeding and acid reflux. Okay. All right, so you're a 6'4" Asian. There you go. 6'4" and 265 would be very skinny, I think, because that would be skinny. I'm probably 9.5 now. I used to be 5'10", but I'm probably 5'9.5". And you know, as you get older, you shrink. So, yeah. But I tell everybody this. I am 100% solid muscle under all of my fat. So, I am 100% solid muscle. Defensive end size. I got you. Yeah. Well, that's tall for defensive end, but yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, yeah. So you know, you like that, Jimmy? I played defensive tackle is what I did. So I was a defensive tackle. But when I graduated high school, I weighed 290 pounds, but I also was bench pressing 400 pounds. So now I weigh, I don't know, 270 something, and I bench press probably, you know, 7 pounds. But what are we going to do, right? But I would love to get back into weightlifting. I miss it, but I don't want to do it alone because I don't get any motivation that way. You know, so we'll have to see. I can, you know, the good thing about being disabled, I guess, and being on Medicare, right? Medicare, you get to go to the gyms for free. You don't got to pay. I have a friend who is 105 kilos, and his legs are actually much stronger and more muscular than other people's. Yes. Yeah, I used to leg squat quite a bit and leg press way more than I don't remember the numbers, but I was really into weightlifting. That's probably why my back hurts, my knees are bad, my ankles are bad, my shoulders are bad, my hands are bad, my wrists are bad, you know, because I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. My best bench was 450, and that was the year after I graduated. I have a washboard abs, unfortunately. I have a fruit loads of laundry on top of it. There you go. That's how I feel. That's what I tell people, man. I'm all muscle under this fat. I'm just telling you. Under all of this ugliness, man, is one good looking dude. That's what I keep trying to tell my wife, you know. She doesn't like my facial hair because it's all weird colors now. As it gets longer, it gets weird blondie gray, whitish gray, and then dark gray, and red here, and a spot here. So she doesn't like my long hair anymore because my long beard because it makes me look, like I'm dysfunctional, I guess, which is probably the truth. So, but it hides the ugliness. Facial hair hides the ugliness. I mean, just look. I don't know if you guys follow or notice. What's our vice president's name? J.D. Vance. Have you seen pictures of him without facial hair? He's one ugly dude, but with facial hair, he looks like a decent looking guy. So facial hair can hide the ugly on people. I'm just saying, man. Are there any movies that I like to watch? Does anybody have a favorite movie? Tim, Jimmy, Pat, what are you guys' favorite movies? I don't know if I have favorite movies anymore, to be honest. I like old John Wayne movies, war movie with John Wayne and Clint Eastwood movies. So I like, I'm more of a documentary TV show type person and a science guy. I do like people like serial killers. I really enjoyed that. But I don't know if I have a favorite movie. I think it all depends. I just don't know if I have one. I mean, I like the Green Beret with John Wayne, but The Bridge Over the River Kwai, some Clint Eastwood movies are really good. Even the Dirty Harry movies are fun to watch. But I don't know. I like horror movies like The Conjurings. I like to watch a lot of the Conjuring movies. I like that type of movie. The original Amityville horror. I enjoy those type of movies. Jimmy has so many of them. I like the Goonies. To be Goonies 2, Gremlins. Is Goonies 2 out now? I thought they were remaking it. Did it ever come out? Goonies Part 2? Mighty Ducks, okay. Horror movie, big fan. I mean, I like the Friday the 13th series originally, the first 20 of them. Now that there's 987 versions, I don't like. The original Halloween, 1 and 2, maybe 3 is great. So the original Halloweens were great movies. Facebook was talking about that. All right. War movies are your favorites? I like some of the older war movies. I do think there's some newer war movies that are pretty good, but I gotta admit, I don't know. I kind of like the older ones. I like the John Wayne war movies a little bit. Never heard of the Goonies? We got to look it up. It's an American classic from I think the 80s. So you have to look it up. The funny thing is, I do like movies where they talk. My wife wants to see movies where they don't do anything but kill each other. All she cares about is how many people are being killed or blown up. She doesn't really want to hear about dialogue. I want to hear the dialogue. I want to understand the plot and the interesting thing. And then, of course, sometimes I wonder what I got myself into, because when we're watching a movie, My wife has to ask me 30,000 questions about it, even though she knows I've never seen the movie. I've never seen the movie. We're at the movie theater. She's asking me 37,000 questions about the movie. How do I know? I've never seen the damn movie. Just sit there and be quiet and watch the movie. You know? So, War of Worlds movie. Saving Private Ryan, The Last Samurai, Wind Talker was pretty good. You like clown movies and horror shows? So war movies, yeah, you know, it's I thought Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood was really good. I did think what's the one, did you say that? What was that? Hamburger Hill? No, not Hamburger Hill. The with the tall skinny kid in it who became a medic and he saved all those people. Hamburger Hill or Pork Chop Hill, one of those two, something. You guys remember that? It's not very old. That's it. That's it, right? Same advice. That's a good point. Pat thinks clowns are creepy. I think that's funny. Nadar says the only horror movie I watch is Sinister. Okay, I've seen that one. I don't know if it's popular in America. It's all right. Now I'll tell you, we've over the last 5-6 years, we've watched a lot of Korean horror movies. Those damn Koreans are crazy. They make weird ass movies. Now I don't know what they do, but they come up with some movie plots that you go, wow, how can you be that violent? And how can you imagine that? That is, I mean, they come up with some movies that will blow your mind. Korean movies. You sit there and go, man, those Koreans are some sick people. You think Americans are sick. Man, you watch some of those Korean movies. Wow. Once Upon a Time in America, that's a good movie. I do think I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino movies. I will say, I love his movies. You know, The Hateful Eight, I like all of his movies. I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan. Asian vampires movies are very scary. Well, yeah, but they're the Asian vampires, they're the ones that turn into weird monsters with their heads splitting open and tentacles coming out. And man, they come up, you know, how they're all confined to a big apartment complex. And I mean, they come up with some shit now. I don't think some of the crazy movies were written by the sane minds. I agree. There has to be some damage there. Kill Bill, great movies. Kill Bill is fantastic. 1 and 2, I'm just saying. But I really like The Hateful Eight, and then, of course, the other one where the other Western, but I can't remember the name of it. Quentin Other Western, where about with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, and Jim and Don Johnson in it. Man, what's the name of that one? From Dusk to Dawn, great movie. Great movie. Loved it. What the first time I watched it when it came out many thousands of years ago, I was highly impressed with the plot twist. I had no clue where the movie was going. I had no knowledge of it before I went to the theater and watched it. And I sat with some friends and went, ooh, that's something I didn't see coming. Well, I know. There's a lot of movies that have been made for years. So, but you should watch it. Kill Bill is a good movie. It's good. Very good. The music in it is really good. Jamie Foxx was in the movie that I'm thinking of, where he's trying to find his wife. He's a slave and he becomes a bounty hunter. All of that. Is that the same movie, or am I getting movies mixed up? I like Quentin Tarantino. The other, I'll tell you a movie that scared me, that kind of gave me the creeps. The only movie that has ever gave me the creeps was when I was about 20. I watched Blue Velvet. Blue Blue Velvet with Dennis Hopper in it, and the guy that played on Criminal Minds as Section Chief Hotchner. He was young back in that movie. That gave me the creeps the first time I watched it. I watched that and went, damn. Dennis Hopper is one crazy psycho person will come and eat your eyeballs, you know. That was and I don't know who directed that one, but that was a creepy movie. The lady in it, the song, the music, you know, it was a creepy movie the first time I watched it. Kill Bill's good though. Part 1 and 2, I like them. I like them. The old pussy wagon, you know, and I like Quentin Tarantino. I think he's married to a Filipina. Isn't he married to a Filipina or a half Filipina? Yeah, I think he's married. Because didn't he get in trouble in the Philippines? What did you say? I don't know how to spell it. A movie that creeped me out was called Blue, like in the color, and Velvet, like in the material. Blue Velvet. Yeah, Blue Velvet. Like, you know, velvet clothing and the color blue. That's the name of the title. Had nothing to do with that, but the song was called Blue Velvet. How you please. I don't know the lyrics, but Blue Velvet, yes. But I'm telling you, if you want to watch some weird movies, watch those Korean movies. They come up with some crap. You know, even the violence. The violence in Korean movies are worse than any American movie you'd ever watch. I mean, they are some violent mothers over there in Korea. I'm just telling you, some things they do on some of these movies, you go, wow. I mean, it's brutal. Ruby's in the house. Thank you for the thumbs up. Ruby, good to see you. Thank you, young lady. How are you doing? Everybody say hello to Ruby for me. If you haven't subscribed to Ruby, please do. Ruby is a Filipina. She's a nice person, unlike, you know, us. I guess there's no limit to the violence used. Well, now, these are Korean movies. Korea, the country of Korea. They're crazy. Korean movies are crazy, man. I mean, they are brutal. They are not shy about using the blood and torture. Jimmy's in. Hello, Ruby. Hey, Pat and Jimmy. Tim's in the house too, Ruby. Good to see you, Ruby. Good to see you too, Pat. So, Ruby, do you have a favorite movie? We're talking about movies at the moment. I know you got to watch Korean movies being in the Philippines. Miss Bai says hello to everybody. Young lady Bai, do you have a favorite movie? Do you like Korean movies? How are you, young Miss Bai? How are things going for you? Oh, I thought the whole conversation was about American movies. Sorry, it's in the language barrier. It's all right. That's all right. We were talking about American movies. We are. But I also threw in the fact that I think Korean movies are crazy and violent. So American movies are good, with no question. But I was just saying, also, Korean movies are bonkers. Why did Jonas ever get his channel fixed? So did somebody have a problem with their YouTube channel, Pat? Is that what was going on? Oh, my dog's good. What do you got? You got a toad? What is it? All right, I'll let you pet me. Go see. My dog Lily's tracking a bug or a toad. Johanna's channel. Ruby says hello to you, young Miss Bai. Miss Bai is trying to become the next internet superstar in the whole entire world. Ruby's growing her channel, becoming a superstar in her own right. He got his first channel hacked. Ah, bummer. That's always a bummer. what part of the world was he from? Was he in America or the Philippines or where, Pat? Do you know where he was coming from? Well, and one thing I've done, because I may get hacked and lose our channel at some point in time, which is what you can, all you can do. But every video that I've ever done, I have actually have it saved on an external hard drive. So I actually have about 5 terabytes of YouTube videos saved so that if I ever need to repost them, I got them. You think he's in the United States? All right, I didn't know. I don't guess I know him. I'm going to show you my dog, Lily. There's a toad hiding. You see those 2 chairs? There's a toad over there. And she's going to wait for the toad. She's Lily the toad hunter. Normally it's 5:03 in Turkey, but we have a lot of fun watching you, so it's okay. Well, I appreciate that, Hayden, and I encourage you to get your Turkish friends to come and join us too. We love having people from other countries join our channel and part of our pack. You think he's from Texas? Oh my God, your dog looks like a sausage. It is. It's a wiener dog. My wiener, we had 2 of them. Mine's dead. Mine died a couple months ago, and I'm still heartbroken. My Daisy dog died, and but Lily's still alive and kicking. But that, yeah, she's a fat sausage, is what she is. You forget? Yeah, I'll check his channel a little bit later. Oh, I think she's on it. So yeah, Lily is she's 8.5 years old, or 9 years old, or 8 years old this August. So she's still kicking, but we're down a dog, and I don't know what to do about it because I can't afford to get another one. To get a long hair female wiener dog, a real one, not a Chiweenie, you know. Ooh, she's found the toad. She's gonna, Lily, leave the toad alone. It's gonna make you sick. Lily. The problem is, toads secrete like a light toxin, and it causes dogs' mouths to foam up. So you would think after all these many, many years of having me to wash her mouth out, that she would learn not to touch the toads. But, yeah, it is. So she would be like 56 years old. My other dog was 8 years old when she died of a heart attack. So, but I don't know what to do about that. I miss my dog so much. My dog kept me alive. And I know I've said this, but a lot of people don't understand that if it wasn't for my dog, I would not literally be alive today. I know my wife kept me alive and got me out of the coma and got me home, but that dog kept me alive. I would not be alive today. Ruby's dropping her channel. You can do that. Remember, anybody can drop their channel if you're blue or a link or anything you want. I'm also open to taking donations of $5 million, so remember that. Tried to go live yesterday. All right, but they said he had 1 subscriber. Yeah, you got to have 50 subscribers to go live, so he's kind of having to start over, huh? My aunt also has dogs. She has never had children, so dogs. Yeah, same here. We don't have kids. I think children smell funny, so we have dogs instead. Lily, don't hurt yourself. So we have dogs. One of our children died. My dog died. She was on a lot of our YouTube videos and a lot of my live streams. Tim acknowledges the fact that he is back in the house again, saying hello to Ruby. But sad thing, but I don't know what to do. I mean, to replace, they're just so damn expensive in America or around here. You can't touch one for less than $2,000. And And I can't see spending $2,000 on a dog. I just, I can't see it. As much as I miss my dog, I can't see it. But yeah, we've never had children either. We're not children people. I'm not opposed to other people having them. I just never wanted them. So, or they never wanted me, one of the two. But I'm not bad with kids as long as I can send them away hyped up on sugar to somebody else. I like to manipulate children and cause chaos. That's what I think uncles are for. When I did a video the other day talking about some of the things that we had problems with in the Philippines, and one of them was about how much we had to pay just to hang out with family. But one thing I did do, which I really enjoyed, was I would give the nieces and nephews money and not give their mother any money and tell those kids, this money is just for you. You spend it however you want, you know. I watched some of your videos yesterday, but it was too late. I fell asleep. Yeah, I'm boring, huh? But I started the video series you shot about Lies My Doctors. Yeah, the book, yep, from Dr. Ken Berry. There's also the ones about my coma in there. So there's that one too. I don't even want to be around children. I don't mind it as long, I don't want to be around them all day. 5-10 minutes are okay. We know some people that have some really creepy children. Isn't that weird? Some people have really creepy kids and other people have kids that are okay. Some kids are like, hey, little 8-year-old boys, nice and polite. And another one's over there licking the concrete, eating the bugs, It's kind of weird, crawling through doggy doors and shit, it's kind of, and then you got one who's polite and courteous, So you never know. Children are like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're gonna get, I guess. Yeah, Pat has a kid. He's a young man now. I think, does he graduate high school this year, Pat? Yep, he's a good young man. Ready for the military. Send him to the military or trade school so he can make good money and not go into debt for an education. Ruby, how are things going in the Philippines? Did I ask you that? Is it raining? Is it hot? What's going on with you? How's your channel doing these days? Are you releasing anything? I've been trying to put out some more videos. I did one the other day and got one out today, so there's a lot of stuff coming out. We're trying to get some more. 10 minutes is about all I can handle. All you can endure, yes. Yep, and got held back, yes. But that's all right. He'll do all right. You just got to get him up to speed. If he needs tutoring, get him tutoring. Nothing wrong with tutoring. Well, you're asking, hey, Dar, how much? It depends. It depends. If you're poor, a lot of states have insurance that children can get on. So they can be covered, like in my state, it's called R-Care, AR Care. And children can get on that and get health insurance through that. So they can also get free lunches at school, but they don't get free college like I told you the other day. I'm just a blonde says, hello, good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. I'm a blonde too, if you didn't know. I can prove it to you if you give me a donation, So only asking for $5 million. But they can, that's correct. So what happens in America, if you're a normal person, I don't say that's a bad word. If you have a job, you get insurance through your company, okay? And your insurance, you get family insurance, which covers your children. But if you're in the poorer category, then your children can be covered under each state's Medicaid or Medicare. Is what they can be done. I'll show you my dog. Did you find the toad, or did it run away? I don't need to know. You don't need to know what? I'm just a blonde. So that's how it kind of works. It's like, I taught college, and so I had insurance. If I had children, they would be on my insurance. I would pay for it, not the state. So, but if you're in the poverty level, then the state will cover insurance. And it also, we have a thing called WIC, Women's, Infant, and Children. For if you're below the income threshold, you qualify for like free baby formula and stuff like that, I think. Pat says, welcome in, welcome in. So that's kind of how that works. But public schools are free. So children who go to public schools like kindergarten, first grade, sixth grade, 10th grade, 12th grade, it's free, but there are expenses, like you got to buy your own lunch. So if you don't have a lot of money, you may qualify for free lunches and get a free lunch. That's how it works. Maybe. I don't know, to be honest, if England is or not. I don't know. I told you the other day that in America, we all kind of believe that we need to work for our stuff. You get what you earn. We don't, even though we have a lot of people taking advantage of my tax dollars and everybody else's tax dollars here that shouldn't be benefiting from our tax dollars. It's still kind of a society that if you want it, you should go earn it. So, but I don't know what England does or London does or other countries. I think the Philippines does pretty good with education. So I think the Philippines has a pretty good school system. I don't think it's we've donated school supplies in the Philippines quite a bit over the years, but I don't think it's terribly expensive. It can be very expensive to have a kid in public schools in America. Between school supplies and field trips and extracurricular activities, it can be quite expensive in America for children to go to public schools. But I don't know about other countries. But I do think the Philippines, I don't know, to be honest, how good their education system is, but I don't think it's bad. What do we think of non-Americans, so non-citizens? Well, it's real simple, and I know a lot of the folks here will probably agree with me, no matter what country you're from. If you're here in my country, America, or your country, Turkey, or the Philippines, as long as you're here legally, then you're welcome. We're happy to have you. But if you broke the law to get into America or Turkey you may go to prison, or the Philippines or somewhere else, then that's a bad thing. So I don't, and I'll go a little bit further with you and tell you this. My wife is from the Philippines. I'm an American from America. When I decided to get married to her, I had to pay a whole bunch of money, and I mean a shitload of money, to get her to come to America legally to be my wife, just the way it was. So I expect everybody else to do the same. If you want to live in America, you need to do it legally in the right way. And I'll go a little further and say, look, I would never ever go to Turkey illegally and try to live there. Well, I'd never go there illegally, period. But I would never go to another country and try to live there illegally. Wouldn't do it. It's not right. So even when we're living in the Philippines, we did it the right way. We did it legally as a foreigner. Now, my wife's a dual citizen. She's an American citizen and a Filipino citizen. But I don't think if you break the law to get into America, then you have no rights in America. You shouldn't get asylum. You should not be able to apply for citizenship or anything. You should be deported and made to go home. That toad get you? Come here. Go drink some water. Get inside. The toad got her. And that's what I mean. If you're in a country illegally, then you don't have any rights. And what I will say about America, what we're doing now is self-deportation. There's a thing that the government's come out with for anybody who wants to not be deported to sign up and say, I'm here illegally. I will sign up electronically. The United States government will buy me an airline ticket back to Turkey or the Philippines. And once I am there, they will give me a stipend. They'll give me money, $1,000. Then, if I do all of this correctly, I have the option and the ability to apply correctly to come back to America and live. Doesn't mean you're going to get to, but it gives you the chance. If we arrest you and deport you, you're never going to get to come here again legally. Lucy's in the house. Everybody say hello to our friend Lucy. Good to see you. Hey, Pat, Lucy. Good to see you. How are you tonight or this morning? It's nighttime for me, as you can see. So that's how I see it. And I don't care what it is. If you got to break the law to do something, it's cheating. If you got to do steroids to play in a sport, that's cheating and you shouldn't be allowed to do it. It doesn't matter what it is. Doing well. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I think everybody's doing pretty good tonight. Everybody seems to be excited. We were talking about movies and politics and how handsome I am in my big oversized shirt and all of that good stuff. So, but yeah, we're doing pretty good. Pretty good. We've got a busy week and a busy week next week, but we're doing good. Pat says it's good to see you. And Ruby was dropping her link. And Lucy, if you want to drop your link, you're blue, you're welcome to drop the link to your channel too. Everybody go and subscribe and check each other out. That's very important. And make sure you give us a thumbs up. What do I think is to be the most logical excuse to come to America? I don't think there is one. I don't think there is a logical excuse. If what you're really saying is, what's the best way to come to America legally? If that's your question, and I don't know what the agreement we have with Turkey is. I don't know. I don't know what the immigrant, if you guys can come here on vacation easily, if you can immigrate here, I don't know. But I'll give you an example for the Philippines, which I do know about. The best way for somebody who lives in a third world country to come to America is either to get married to an American or to become a nurse and then come to America to work as a nurse. Lucy says, good to see you, Pat. So that's the best pathway to America. Come here and work, whether it's a nurse or if you go into the IT field. A lot of times companies will sponsor you to come over and do IT work. We have a lot of people from India and Pakistan that does that. The medical field, educational field. You can come here. If you stay long enough, you can apply for American citizenship and get to live here. No, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about that. So you can apply to be a student. That's correct. You're young. You may want to come into America and become a student, a college student, which is perfectly fine to do. I mean, you got to go through the process, but there's nothing wrong with doing that. And then if you get lucky and find somebody to get married to, well, then you can become a citizen pretty quick. Or if a company will hire you afterwards and they do your paperwork for you, then you might get to stay in America even longer if you can get hired by an American-based company. But even college students have to go back. So when I was still teaching college, I had international students who worked for me all the time, because international students could only get a job at the college. They could only get part-time jobs, and they could only work at the college in which they were enrolled in. And so I had a lot of international students. And when they graduate, they have to go back home to their home country. And or if they can't get somebody to sponsor them to be a worker, just because you're a student in America from a foreign country doesn't give you permission to be here forever. That's not how it works. Your visa expires and you got to keep renewing it every year to be a student. So if you want to come here and to study, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. And we have a lot of people that do that every year. You're right back, Pat says. I guess I just have to find a beautiful single woman on Facebook and impress them. That's right. But why would you want to marry an American woman? I wouldn't encourage that. American women, not so good. You'd be better off marrying somebody in your own country. Or become a nurse. Do they have, I'm sure they have nursing. What I would look into it, and I don't know how it works in Turkey, I would look into seeing if you can take an English-based nursing program in Turkey that would qualify you to take the American boards, and then you can get sponsored to come over to be a nurse and be a permanent resident. Like a Filipina, like we have young people in the Philippines that we're going to be sponsoring to go through nursing in the Philippines so they can immigrate over here as nurses. Young Maria's in the house. Lucy's in the house. Everybody's in the house. Maria, are you getting unpacked? Did you find the barbecue grill so you can have better hot dogs? So if you're a nurse, and what we're going to do is pay for the college. These young people are going to become nurses. They're going to serve their 1 year. They're going to get onto an agency and they're going to come to America. They're going to be a full-time resident as a nurse, which means they can immigrate and apply for citizenship. As an example, if you come over here as a teacher's only a 3-year contract and you got to go back home. You're not a permanent resident. You're a temporary worker. Tim, got to go to the gym. All right, buddy. See ya. Got to go for now anyway. Ruby says hello, dropping her link. Nursing is a field I could study in Turkey. I was thinking more about dentistry. Nice. What would you said makes a lot of sense. All right, good. Ruby says, goodbye, Tim. See ya. Lucy, hello from Ruby. Unpacking is not fun. Maria says, no, it is not. I hate unpacking. I hate it. I hate packing. I hate unpacking. I hate everything about moving except for getting to a better location. Our location sucks. So that's why I need the $5 million donation so I can hire movers to move me. Ruby said, hello, Maria. So that's one of the simplest ways to come to America is to become a nurse and get to come to America and be a nurse in America. That's the simplest way. And or get married to an American. One of the two. That's the easiest way. If you come to America as a college student, which I've known actually students who've come to America and they found an American girl and got married and they've worked their way into staying here, then they drop out of college. So they didn't come here to finish their degree. They came here to find an American girl or boy to get married to. And they get married, they get their citizenship, or they get their permanent residence from being married, their green card, and then down the road they become a citizen. But once they get their green card, they drop out of college. So we saw that a lot. Yeah, nursing's a very logical option. You just got to remember you have to take a nursing degree program that's English-based. And that's going to set you up so where you can pass the American boards, nursing boards. Because if you can't pass the nursing boards, it ain't going to work. So that's what you got to look at. It's like in the Philippines, there are colleges, nursing schools in the Philippines that specialize in English-based nursing programs that's prepping these nurses to go overseas. There's also other ones that are cheaper and not as good that really don't focus on that. And those are for the nurses that want to stay in the Philippines. Maria's a retired nurse, by the way, in Canada. So that's kind of how it works. But the marriage thing is a legitimate way. A lot of women from foreign countries will find an American guy, sucker them into getting married. They get the 90-year-old to marry a 90-year-old man. They come over here, they get their green card, then they divorce the old guy and go marry a 30-year-old guy. So we have that happen a lot in America too. A lot of young people marry. Have you ever seen 90 Day Fiance, the TV show? And of course, personally, I know a lot of these people in my Philippine-American community. So a lot of them will marry an old guy. Then once they get to America, get their American legs under them, and they get tired of the old guy, they will dump and they get their green card, they'll dump the old guy and go marry somebody younger. Yeah, most difficult. Yeah, I'm sure medical is the most difficult. I think it's probably one of the hardest here in America. Not for sure how common English ones are, but maybe or look, or maybe you can apply to go to college in America, to go to nursing school if you wanted to. Once you complete your degree, you can stay as a permanent resident as a nurse because we would hire you. So if you don't have that in Turkey, if you can like go to the University of Arkansas nursing school program, it's the same thing. You're just be in America, get your degree here. And then you can start nursing and be a permanent resident. Kind of the same thing. So how it works. So, all right. Well, all right, my friends, it's 9:30 in my part of the country. I think it's time for me to wind this down and get off of here for tonight. And I want to thank Hadar for being here, Ruby, and Maria, who just came in shortly, Tim and Lucy, Pat, as always. Good to see you all tonight. We appreciate it more than you know. And all the great conversation. Tim was in the house. We had a lot of people early on in the house who got scared because I threatened to go naked, and they ran away. Lawson was here for a while, but he's feeling ill. Jimmy was in the house for a long time. We appreciate him. So if there's anybody you haven't connected with in the chat, please go back and do that. And remember, Dan P., everybody, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to everybody else's channel, support each other, and hopefully, everybody, we will see you guys again. Lucy said, that is so sad. I'm seeing problems with overseas LDR relationships. Some guys, I don't care where as long as he has. Yeah, I agree. No. You know, you get these girls who want, and I understand it, Lucy. I'm not opposed to it. I understand it. You get a lot of girls who want out of their situation so badly that they will marry anything to get out of their country. And that's not just the Philippines. I don't blame them. I understand it. Do I think it's right? No. But if the guy understands that's the terms and the conditions, well, then who's to say it's wrong? If the guy knows, hey, the chick is only marrying me so she can come to America, but hey, I'm going to get laid a lot and I'm going to have a wife for a while, and maybe I'll get lucky and she'll stick around for 5 or 10 years, and maybe I'll get really lucky there. But I don't think it's right, but I understand it. But it happens all over the world. So, but that is the way LDRs are. A lot of them are. A lot aren't, but a lot are. So, I want a guy that is not overseas. He's even across the country. I'll still give him a good. Yeah. Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, what I tell people is everybody has to do what's best for them, what they can live with. Even in America, we have a lot of young girls who's in a really bad situation who will marry the first guy that will marry them to get them out of their bad situation. That's an everyday occurrence in America. And that's the same thing in the Philippines or Thailand or Mexico or anywhere else. That the girls need to get out of their situation. They will do whatever. And I just can't blame them for it. Do I think it's right? Not necessarily, but I understand it. And if the guy understands it and goes, all right, I know that I'm 60 years old and this 20-year-old hot chick is only going to come with me so that she can get out of their home country. As long as I'm okay with it, then, it is what it is. So. Say it's true, must be a better way. There's always a better way, but sometimes the better way is not the easiest way. It's difficult. The better way sometimes is difficult. But if the guy is willing to do this and they understand this, they're not delusional, then, I'm not opposed to older men's age. Just a number. It is. You're 33? Yeah. So I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. There's an age gap between my wife and I, but not that big of one. But I personally figured out when long before I met my wife, You know, when I was 40, I dated a girl that was 22, 23, knock dead gorgeous, smoking hot, but dumb as a freaking rock. We had nothing to relate to. It didn't work. I don't care how hot she was, it didn't work. She drove my ass crazy. So I learned to date people more my own age. And my wife is younger than me, but my wife has a theory that women are more mature than we are. So if I'm 20 years older than my wife, let's say this. So if I'm 50 and my wife is 30, then she's really probably, what, 40 mentally? And I'm more around 35 or 40 mentally because men are immature. So that kind of puts us on the same playing field. That's what my wife says. Yeah, it's okay to date them. The question is the purpose. If you're okay dating him because you like him, great. If you don't want anything from him but a loving relationship, that's great. But a lot of the girls that we talk about in LDRs, they are truly there to get out of the situation. Now, the other side of that coin, Lucy, and we have a lot that we know of personally, there's a lot of these guys out here on these live streams that are lying to these Filipinas saying, baby, baby, I love you. I'm going to marry you. I'm going to come to the Philippines. Their shit is never packing their bag and they're never going to the Philippines. They're never going there again. They're never going to go meet them. They're just stringing them along because it makes them feel good to think that some young girl wants them. So you got some fat old guy like me who's hustling these girls, telling them lies, and I leave a comment and subscribe to you, Lucy. Ooh, good. Thank you for that, Ruby. We appreciate you subscribing to that. So we have the other side of the coin too. We have men here that are hustling Filipinas, convincing them that I'm going to come and take care of you and swoop you away from the horrible Philippines. But their fat old lazy ass is never leaving America to go there. So they're just wasting the time of the Filipina. I just want a kind man that won't hide shady. I agree. Open honesty is the key. My wife and I that way. I don't care if he's 5 foot. Yeah, I agree. That's great. Age is often really just a number. Children in different situations are more mature than their peers. I agree with that. I'm not sure about you. No, you did good. You did good there. So that's how it is. You know, just how it is. All right, my friends, we appreciate all of you guys. You guys all have a great night. And maybe we'll see you tomorrow or Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So everybody take care. And Ruby, we appreciate you as always. Lucy, we appreciate you. Hadar, my friend, we appreciate you all the way from Turkey. So you guys take great care. See ya.